All right. Meeting will come to order.
Okay, if everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll go ahead and start with our introductions. We've got R.J. Hernandez, Board Director, Kevin Metcalf, Board Director, Jackie Snedden, Board President, Jean Sandoval, Board Secretary, Wayne Staples is on vacation. We've got Eric Czar, our Assistant General Manager. I'm Jerry Mupa, your General Manager. We also have Cindy Graves, our Activities Director, and Tad Creasy, our Regional Manager. Okay, just a couple of announcements. A couple of dates to put on your calendar. We've got district delegate elections scheduled for February 25th. That's a Thursday. We've also got the annual meeting on April 7th. And then we've got just an announcement. I'm sure everybody enjoyed the 27-degree weather this morning, and notice that we have patches of black ice on the sidewalks and streets. Just a reminder to be safe and cautious when you're walking and driving around. Other than that, I have no further announcements other than I wish everybody a happy holiday season. And we're going to go ahead and start with homeowner input. We've got limited to 3 minutes per homeowner, and only one request to speak form may be submitted per homeowner. There will be no sharing or passing of time to another person. Homeowner input may be held for a maximum period of 30 minutes before the board meeting begins to allow the board to proceed with the business portion of the meeting. This portion of the meeting is limited to board participation only. Residents are welcome and encouraged to stay for the full meeting to witness the business of the corporation taking place by your governing agents. So we'll go ahead and start with our first speaker, Ray Winhorn.
Can you hear all right?
Yes.
Everybody all right? It's been said, if you see something, say something. So that's why I'm here, to say something. Item number one, I'll try to be quick. And I would like to review some of these things in further detail with whoever is necessary at a later time. First is the tar. I know there's, when they did the tarring of the streets a while back, it was windy and some of the tar got all over the place. I reported that there was some in front of my place and my neighbors, and no action taken, so I decided to use an 11 by 7 or 11 by 8.5 piece of paper to show how big this thing is, and I turned a couple of those in and haven't heard anything back. I'd like to get that removed as soon as possible. It's been over 2 months. Street lights and lights in the parking lot. I don't know that there's any kind of a plan for anyone to go check those. I reported a light out in the parking lot several times. I took 2 people from the desk out to show them the light that was out. That's been over a couple of months, and the light's still out. I saw it last night when I came out playing pool. I know that most of the people aren't here, and at night they get dark pretty early these days. And also for the street lights, I think at least once a month somebody ought to go around to audit and make sure whatever lights are on or not. 2 of the lights, right, as you go out the front door here in the parking area, as you come into the entrance are both out. One of them flashes on and off. Closing the lodge. I don't know why, with all the people that we have here now, that we have to close the lodge on holidays. I have 8 of my family coming out during Christmas, New Year's holiday, and I'd like to be able to come up and play pool at my convenience. We can't do that sometimes in the evenings. They close early, they open late the next day, and you can't even come up and show them the Christmas tree. Sometimes they're only here for a short time. And it's true that we have a lot of visitors on holidays. Thanksgiving, people couldn't even get in through the guard gate because people were lined up all the way out the street somewhere. And I got calls from people that were coming to my house. I went down the back gate and opened the gate for them so they could get in without sitting there for I don't know how long. I've used this indoor swimming pool up there since it opened last year, and I really like it, and it's good exercise for somebody like me that maybe get a little older than the rest of it is. They're still young people. But I started breaking out this past month. I had red blotches all over me and things like that.
I'm sorry, your 3 minutes are up.
My time is up?
Yeah.
Anyway, I got sick from going to the swimming pool. I think it's too hot. I'd like to talk to somebody about all these things later.
Jerry, would you want to talk on the slurry? Instead of we're having some cleanup?
As far as the concrete, the tar on the concrete, we definitely have some finish work to do. And so I will make sure that the area in question by your home is taken care of. We're not finished with the project yet, so we'll make sure that's taken care of. The parking lot lights and the street lights, definitely you and I can talk about that. The holiday closing, the board can consider that option.
Just to make mention, last year we did open the lodge for Thanksgiving as an experiment, actually, because it had been requested of us, and I think there were only
less than 50 people.
Less than 50 people came, and a lot of them just came in the morning to do their exercise, and that was it, and then they didn't return. So, but we could certainly consider trying it again next year because the community has grown, and there might be more need for it and more call for it next year. So we certainly can consider that for the next year's holidays.
And the indoor pool too hot. We've got a lot of opinions regarding the temperature of that pool. The Safeties and Facilities Committee did agree to increase the temperature during the winter season and have directed us to reduce the temperature once the outdoor pool opens in the spring. So again, we can submit it to Safeties and Facilities to find out if they want to reconsider that directive.
And the temperature is now?
Currently it's 84 degrees and it will go to 82 degrees in the spring. Okay, our next speaker is Steve Sarchett.
He's running a little late. Could you call him last, please?
Okay, Ross Barton.
I have questions about the delinquency accounts which have apparently been left untouched. There's, according to the last breeze, there's $43,000 plus outstanding. Supposedly those accounts are being, quote, managed, close quote, whatever that means. I'd like to know what that means. I'd like to know what's being done to collect on those accounts. More importantly, I'm concerned about the 2 foreclosures that are listed in the breeze. There's approximately $24,000 of uncollected assessments. I want to know what action has been taken specifically. Has there been a lawsuit filed against either one of the homeowners? And if not, why not? Can somebody answer those questions for me, please?
There will be, during the manager's report, we will be running through the collection process and how we handle delinquencies.
Well, I'm really...
Today. This will be, but a little bit later in the meeting today.
All right, specifically what I'm really concerned about is this 13,000 something account that's uncollected. According to this report, it's going to be written off. Now this total $43,000, if it's not collected, the rest of us homeowners have to pay that money. And eventually that means that will force our monthly assessments to go up.
No, I won't.
And there are very substantial ways to collect these funds, very inexpensive ways, namely through small claims court. And I know it can be done because I've done it in the past.
As I said, in a few minutes, Jerry will be giving a rundown on how we go about collecting unpaid assessments.
All right, will she also tell us why we waited so long to try and collect these funds? Because
You'll realize that we do not wait to collect the funds. It's a matter of getting the funds collected. But this will become more clear to you in a few minutes. Make a presentation.
all right, I'm concerned because depending upon the assessment amounts, whether or not front lawns are taken care of, this $13,000 represents somewhere between 4 and 5 years of uncollected and unpaid assessments. So I'll wait for Jerry's report. Thank you.
Is Steve available? He's our last speaker. We can go ahead and proceed, and then when he does arrive, if you want to reopen homeowner input, that'd be great.
Okay, we'll close it for now. And
Okay.
Then that.
All right. We'll move on our agenda with the consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to make a single motion to approve all included items. If for a particular reason an item needs to be discussed or pulled from the consent calendar, then a call to remove that item should be made by a board member. Currently on the consent calendar is the approval of the minutes from November 12th, 2015, approval of the October 2015 financial statements, implementation of the CD and investment plan. There were no financial analysis requests, and there were no liens or foreclosure action items.
Do I have a motion for approval of the consent calendar?
So moved.
Motion by Jean Sandoval. Do I second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, our next item is the treasurer's report. Since Wayne is on vacation, I would recommend we table that report till next month. Okay, report on executive session or action taken between meetings. There was an executive session held at 11 a.m. this morning, and there were 4 delinquencies called to hearing. 3 were paid. 1 account is in escrow, so there was no action taken. There were 6 enforcement hearings, 4 for architectural issues, 1 for an age restriction issue, and 1 for a maintenance issue. The maintenance issue has been closed. Contracts that were reviewed, the Brad Alms landscaping contract was extended for a year with a 2% increase. The First Service Management contract was extended for another year with no change. LeBar Oxney Springdale insurance policy was renewed with a $1,244 per year increase. And then Nelson Paving Group was approved to purchase additional stop markers and install them for a cost of $4,600.
And also on that last one, though, there will be some recouping some money back because we'll be returning some product.
We will be returning some of the stop markers that we purchased that included incorrect items and or broken items. That will decrease the amount of the change order. Legal issues, the board reviewed an age verification issue. They discussed the recovery of the legal fees and discussed personnel, which no action was taken at this time. So we'll go ahead and start our committee report. Oh, Steve, we were waiting for the guest of honor. Yay, you're up.
Now, first of all, I have a public announcement. I'm late because I was down at Redlands at a press conference. We were having a press conference down there on the latest incident in San Bernardino and the issue of refugees from Syria. I hope it's on the news tonight. I don't know if it will be. Anyway, what I want to talk about is the recent rule change, letter that was sent out about rule change. And I think this may have already been mentioned. I'm not sure, but I'll do it again. Debtors' rights are defined in U.S. law, 15 United States Code, section 1692D. A debt collector may not engage in any conduct, the natural consequence of which is to harass, oppress, or abuse any person in connection with the collection of a debt. I believe that confiscating a residence transponder would be harassment, oppressive, and abusive. I believe that the verbiage referring to the delinquent HOA dues must be stricken from the proposed rule change. That only leaves the change regarding residents who break rules. I believe that the motivation for that change manifested itself because of the recent issue with the poker club. Step by step, happiness is being sucked out of this community. And I ask that the board stop the draconian rules, stop being punishers, and start being advocates for the community.
Any comments? No? Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and start our committee reports. First committee is architectural. Anybody from architectural? We did receive the minutes. Our next committee is bistro. Bill.
I'm Bill Taylor, Chairman of the Bistro Committee. Committee met on Tuesday, November 24th. We discussed the kitchen repairs. A fiberglass door to replace the defective back kitchen door has been installed. However, it has a gap and a new weather stripping will have to be installed. The cold storage unit in the bistro dining area is noisy. It was suggested and discussed the replacement of it. We will look into this, and we're talking with Smitty so that he can get some information for us on the type of freezers that he would need. The committee will not meet in December. The committee meets on the fourth Tuesday of each month at 11 a.m. in the Lodge Conference Room. All homeowners are invited to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Do we have anybody from Communication Committee? EPC, I don't believe we have. Oh, we do. Fred, yes.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Fred Weck, one of the co-chairs of the Emergency Preparedness Committee. And we met earlier today to kind of go over and finalize some of the action items we have for our planned January 13th town hall meeting on preparing for El Nino, aimed at informing the residents here of things that they can do and give them a broader perspective and go with that. We want to encourage residents to attend. We're giving away prizes that are of some value. In fact, we look at some of them today. And also our goal is to encourage people to participate and be able to sign up if they want to learn more about it. We have a little poster that many of you have already seen to spread the word on that. So that's been our main thrust, is preparing for the town hall meeting on preparing for El Nino coming up in the winter time.
Thank you, Fred. Okay, do we have anybody from finance or landscape? It's a quiet month. And rules and regulations.
Start to say good morning, but I think it's good afternoon. No, I'm not Carol. Louise Lyon with Rules and Regs. She was unable to be here today, and we don't have a big report. But before I get started, Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. 2016 is almost here. And as always, my big thank you to the Board of Directors who worked their little buns off for such a big salary. And I appreciate it. And believe it or not, I'm not the only one that appreciates it. So, and for our management company, who always run around with a smile on their face, except right now, Lumberjack. Come on, give us a smile. In case you've missed it, Eric changed, he went incognito on us. So, but all of you guys do such a good job, and thank you so much. We had a meeting last Tuesday. We meet on the second Tuesday of every month in the conference room over you know the one, the old sales office. And it was kind of a fast meeting. Just in case you guys don't look at your briefs, there's always going to be a section in there, like little reminders, things to watch out for and everything. And so Matt from our committee puts that in the briefs, and so just to let you know. We're getting ready for the district delegate the whole district delegate thing. And it seems like it's complicated. You know what? It really is. But when you're around for a little bit, it finally gets to be a routine. So be ready, and when you get your district delegate, you know, work with them, go ahead, because we want the vote out up there, and we have to vote for the good delegates who will actually work at getting their people that live in their district, you know, to get out to vote. And I have to say, last year, they did an excellent job. I mean, we had the best election ever, the biggest, highest percentage, and the management company did not have to call one single homeowner because they had quorum in less than 3 weeks. That is unheard of, especially since we've been growing. So in that regard, thank you to all the homeowners. That really is a big deal. We're just a little happy Rules and Regs Committee, nothing else going on. So thank you very much, and Merry Christmas again.
Thank you, Louise.
Thank you, Louise. Okay, do we have anyone from Safeties and Facilities? And Cindy will respond in regards to social. We don't have any reports from the ad hoc committees. Regarding committee information, next item on the agenda. On page 61, we have Marcia Gormley resigned from the Architectural Review Committee. Page 62, Lynn Tavernetti resigned from the Landscape Committee. Page 63, Tony Feiner resigned from the Social Committee. And then we also have a recommendation to appoint,
I need to really thank the people for the work that they did on the committees that they chose to volunteer for. We'll miss Marcia. She's done a wonderful job, chaired the ARC for a while, and we'll miss her. And then Len, of course, has been very instrumental in getting a lot of things accomplished in the community, having to do with landscape and irrigation. And he spent a lot of years on the committee and has decided, I think, to take on other developments and ideas. And the same with Tony for her work on the social committee. So we thank them for all their work and would welcome them back to a committee at any time in the future.
Okay, it's recommended that Lynette Simonson be appointed to the Landscape Committee.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve Lynette Simonson to the Landscape Committee?
So moved.
Motion by Jean Sandoval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
And then finally, it's recommended that Sherry Howard be appointed to the Nominating Committee.
Do I have a motion to appoint Sherry Howard to the Nominating Committee?
So moved.
Motion by Jean Sandoval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, next item on our agenda is to review and act upon club and group applications, which we had received none for the month. And then on pages 64 to 67 are homeowner facility use requests, which require no action. They're all informational only. And then we're moving into our activities director report.
Oh, I hope you guys are having a good holiday. I'm having a good holiday. I am keeping up. I'm eating my Wheaties. And I'm keeping up with these massive party onslaughts. But we've had some great ones. Did we not have an awesome AACC party? Wow. They rocked it out of the house. Absolutely gorgeous. Great job to the AACC and the beautiful, beautiful function that they had. I mean, the ballroom was transformed. It was absolutely beautiful. Ballroom dance also rocked it out of the house. It was absolutely beautiful. Did a really awesome job. And I want to thank all of you guys who happened to come to the holiday extravaganza either one of those days. It's so nice to just be a family and all come together and get our big holiday hugs on. I just love that. The choir sang great. Oh, they get better every year. And weren't those touching stories of the residents? Come on. They could take this on the road. They were really good. If you missed it, able to do that. Like, oh my gosh, it was so touching. So definitely, that really helped get us all into the holiday spirit for sure. I do miss those days around the Christmas tree, jingling our keys and all that. But unfortunately, due to crush hazards, we have with the fire department, we're too big, boo-hoo. So anyway, but thank you all for whoever came out. It's just so nice to get the neighborhood together. Love it. Okay, on to business now. Oh, guess what? Another little family opportunity. Sally White is our resident, Sally White, piano playing by ear Sally White, who never uses music Sally White, who takes requests Sally White, is actually going to be doing Christmas carols in the lobby on the 18th. That's this Friday. So you'll love that. If you feel like you need to get a little refill of your holiday. Oh, good question. That would be 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Friday in the lobby.
Till when?
Till we say. Yeah. Till you pucker out, Ray. Okay. And then here's a new thing. Well, do you remember when we used to do a few years ago Friday night at the lodge? And it was just a free dance, soft coffee type of deal, right? Friday night. Well, we have some new homeowners who want to start contributing right away. And they are totally getting their funk down. They're dancers, okay? So they want to start picking up the kind of like Friday night at the lodge, but guess what they're calling it? They're calling it Desert Boogie. Oh yeah, so don't be confused. It is really Friday night at the lodge, but it is, from now on, it's going to be Desert Boogie. Get down. And it's free to you. You can bring your dinners in from Smitty's and just have a good time with your neighbors and dance your little hearts out. Great exercise, especially as you start seeing 2016 rolling up with all the goals we have in mind for fitness and things like that. Oh, it's a great way to do it. Get your boogie on. That's going to be January 15th at 5:30. It's going to be in the breeze, but just mark it down in your calendars if that sounds like a fun thing for you. And social committee is really working hard with transforming, all the preparations for transforming this ballroom into an Arabian Nights. Ooh, it's going to be so cool. I just can't get over how fun, as we're planning on bringing in all the yards of fabric and everything, and we might have some secret entertainment. We will be having some secret entertainment, I'm just telling you that. And as well as having my band. And get ready, good dinner. That is going to be so fun, and I love that it's so close. So you can come, have a little great party, and like I always say every year, and roll home. You don't even have to worry about driving. So that's always fun. The last day, if you have dawdled on getting your New Year's Eve tickets, the last day is Tuesday, December 22nd to buy yours, and they're only $50 this year rather than the $60 previously. And oh my gosh, it's going to be fun. So don't say you weren't told. All right. There are still all kinds of class and club parties going on right on up to December 31st. So be sure to check with your group involvements to verify the times and dates of your parties. We have broken in the summit officially with plenty of parties up there so far. So if your group is meeting up there, that's a beautiful place. Remember, it has to be under 25 people in that lobby area for fire code stuff. And karaoke is not going to be in December, so if you're looking for it and thinking that it was accidentally left off, it wasn't. It's not happening because there's too things happening right now, but there will be karaoke back up again on Saturday, January 16th at 5:30. I hope you guys have a great rest of the season and that it's not only memorable, but that it's not totally stressed out and you can really have a good time. Thanks, you guys. Woo!
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, let's move on into the management report. On pages 75 and 76 is the management updates and activity log. In summary, we had 126 issues added to the November action items for a total of 382 action items being handled for November. On page 77 is a summary of the correspondence log. And on pages 78 through 166 are the communications. Did the board have any questions regarding any of the information? I will go over the homeowner suggestions in a moment.
That would be the only part
Okay, so let's go ahead and start that with the homeowner suggestions. We did have one that didn't make the list, but I did want to bring it up. We did have a homeowner suggest that we include or provide each new homeowner a pooper scooper with their homeowner packet to make sure we encourage picking up after your pet. Did the board want to consider that suggestion or recommend researching that at all?
But I think at this point, not everyone comes in with the dog.
Right, okay.
What page are you on?
We're on page 122. Okay, so let's go, lodge suggestions. We need to, and I'll just read them one at a time. We need to make it when our grandkids come and want to see a movie if the theater is available. I think they want to be able to use the theater when their grandchildren are visiting. And I believe the policy... Thank you, I'll just move it up. Okay, I believe the current policy regarding the movie theater is that it is not available for personal use. However, if a family or a resident wishes to bring their family in for some sort of reunion or a family gathering, they can reserve the theater at that point. All right, name for RCN. Recommendation, Echo Canyon. We thought that was very clever. A steam room in the new fitness center. Next suggestion is get new Euclid help. Monday evening, there was no one to start the movie and no one checked to see if they were in the theater and we didn't have anybody at the desk. The lodge attendant was helping a committee member and unfortunately extended the time. So I believe we are reviewing the staffing levels to make sure that we have adequate people on duty at all times to cover both desks and take care of the homeowners' issues. Then we have a recommendation to have a community garden, vegetable and fruit to share. Everyone can work in the garden. Also a dog park. Put a bench outside the front door at the summit. We are purchasing a door for that. A door. We are purchasing a bench for in front of the summit, at the entrance of the summit. Please add an indoor jacuzzi to the new Recreation 3. An indoor jacuzzi makes it easier for people to use both pool and jacuzzi during the cold seasons. An example of this is at the Tenaya Lodge in Yosemite. Look this up at their website. And I believe that looking at the plans, there is not going to be an indoor jacuzzi.
Right, there had been a point in time where the suggestions had been accumulated and sent on for the final design. So.
Okay. For Kehovnanian on Recreation Center 3, the lounge area, windows facing northwest direction should have unobstructed view. If possible, all glass to view the snow-capped mountains. TV should be on the southeast wall. Pass that along to Kehovnanian. The privacy glass in the women's showers at the summit is not very private. When the shower light is on, everything is visible inside the shower. Can the shower doors be replaced with true privacy doors? And an update is we took this very seriously and immediately contacted Beaumont Glass. They've got two options for us. One is to completely replace the glass with a different type that would provide more privacy. The other option is to take the existing glass and have it acid etched and try and create a more private glass. So this issue will be submitted to Safeties and Facilities for their recommendation at this time. Change the name of the New Year's Eve dance in light of the world events. Arabian anything is very insensitive and even offensive. Okay. Please don't trim the trees so much on Four Seasons Boulevard. They look so scalped this week. Not as pretty cut back so much. P.S. The lodge foyer is decorated beautifully. Regarding the tree trimming, we do trim the trees in accordance to the arborist standards. Unfortunately, sometimes it does create a more stark aesthetic, but they are trimmed to benefit the tree and sustain through the weather conditions.
And that is just temporary?
Yes.
As soon as they start growing in the spring.
Okay. Please connect all 3 computers to the printer and activate MS Office to all the computers. My understanding is that has been completed, so this is taken care of. We need to get get a different company to repair the decorative brick paving on the roundabout, especially near the summit, because within 2 or so months, holes are back. Number 2, maybe the area is so trafficked that it is not feasible to put decorative pavement as a tougher application is needed.
This is the cobbles, right?
Yes, this is the pavers,
yes.
The paver stones. Next suggestion is please, 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 can we have a dog park? I believe that has been reviewed by Safeties and Facilities and is not feasible at this time.
Now, I'm going to go back a little bit, because on that paver, we corrected the water situation that was causing some issues with those. And they haven't been turned over to us yet, and the whole area will be.
The pavers have not been turned over to the HOA yet. That's correct.
So once it is, those corrections will be made.
Yes. At 7:32 a.m., no one was at the front desk. Had to call to find Crystal. She said she was opening the other building. Again, this falls into board is reviewing the current staffing levels to make sure we have somebody at the desk at all times. Please restripe the shuffleboard courts. Can lights be installed for night play?
I think this is something, once we get back to the project of looking at the lodge grounds, we will look at the shuffleboard courts at that time.
So I'll put that in the exterior renovation file. Suggestions. At the summit, please put a weight scale in the summit fitness room. I have ordered the scale, so we expect delivery probably next week. We need hot water from the restroom sinks. It is always cold. And I understand that's because we can't keep it's automated, so we can't keep the water running long enough to get through the faucet, so we'll have to look at maybe another alternative than the automatic faucets. Have control over the speed of the fan in the workout room at the summit. We are installing the speed control remotes. That should happen in the next week or so. We did pick up the universal remotes today. Schedule routine pool maintenance when there are no classes. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10:30 to 11:30. There's water aerobics. Today on 11/6, there were 3 or 4 men in the pool area the whole time. I don't believe those are HOA maintenance staff members. I think we were having some pool repairs done, and so we'll make sure we're a little more sensitive to that. Lounge chairs. I know that we need chairs up there. Safeties and Facilities, we're waiting for their recommendations. In the meantime, we did take 2 of the wood benches that were not being used on the grounds here and put them up there, so it did provide a little bit of seating. They're not as pretty as some permanent seating, but at least it's some available seating. Please consider keeping the pool open until 9 p.m. or later, and that was discussed at the last meeting, and it was determined that once funding is available for additional times and staffing, then the hours could be considered to be extended. And then please, please, we need a pace clock with a sweep hand for workouts, and the clock has been ordered. So, any questions regarding any of the suggestions?
I think at this time, though.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and talk about our delinquency collection.
Yeah, and I think having Jerry do this for you, because of correspondence and comments that have been received recently, it appears that it's unclear about what our processes are for collecting delinquent accounts. And so thought it would be a good opportunity today for Jerry to run you through the processes that we have to follow as an association. And actually, sometimes the time it takes to actually get compensated for it, and sometimes why we have difficulty at the tail end of it. So,
okay. So with our annual budget disclosure, we did include a copy of the delinquency and assessment collection policy. So I just wanted to run through some of the timetables as far as the steps that we take to collect any outstanding assessments. The first step is that once we determine that I'll back up a little bit. As a reminder, the assessments are due on the 1st of every month and considered delinquent if not received by the 15th.
Can't hear you.
Okay. Try it again. Okay? Is this better? A little bit better? Okay. Just to try it a different way. It's going to be really tinny if I get it too close. Is that better? Can everybody hear me? It's not working really well. Okay. Maybe I can hold it like this. Okay, success. Okay, as a reminder, our assessments are due on the 1st of the month. They're considered delinquent if not received by the 15th of the month. Right around the 18th of the month, if there are any homeowners that have missed their payment, there are two things that happen. One is they receive, sounds terrible, they receive I can use, okay.
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties if you can't tell.
Thank you.
Needs to be turned on.
Okay.
Turn your other one off.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so two things happen after the 15th of the month. Right around the 18th, for those homeowners that have not submitted a payment, they will receive from our Upland office what's called a courtesy letter. And what the courtesy letter states is that maybe you forgot, maybe you overlooked it, maybe there's circumstances that you weren't able to pay your assessment by the 15th. However, this is your courtesy notification that your assessment is due. Please contact the management office and make arrangements to pay the assessment. In tandem with that, at our management office here on site, the homeowners that have not made a payment by the 15th are also called to hearing before the board to discuss if there was a reason why they have not paid their assessment and maybe work out arrangements through the board for collecting the outstanding assessment. Okay, after 30 days, if the assessment has not been collected, then the homeowner will receive what's called it's a legal notice sent certified mail. We call it an intent to lien letter, and it's a little more strict, strong-worded letter stating that if you don't make arrangements to make your payment, or we don't receive your payment, or you don't contact us to discuss arrangements to make payment, then our next step will be to place a lien against the property. Assuming that we do not receive payment, then the board will at the next board meeting, authorize a lien to be recorded on the property. The lien generally, once it's recorded, we have to wait a certain period for the homeowner to rectify the delinquent account, and then we can start with our next collection process. Again, if we have not received any payment, or if we have not been contacted to make payment, the board will consider other alternative collection methods, one being small claims. Currently, the board has authorized a number of small claims actions. We have gone to small claims. We have received numerous judgments. We've also made payment arrangements with the homeowners that are delinquent at small claims. Another option is that we will begin what's called a non-judicial foreclosure. If it's determined, if we run an equity analysis and it's determined that the property does have excess equity over what is owed on the property, the board has the option to proceed with foreclosure efforts for that property. It's very rare that the board authorizes a foreclosure on a person's property. The association is not in the position to become a property owner, nor do we want to become a property owner. We also have what's called a judicial lawsuit, where a lawsuit is filed against the person personally. Once we receive that judgment, then we can take other collection efforts, such as attach to wages or bank accounts or other property. Whatever efforts we can to collect that debt, the board takes the action as appropriate. In the collection policy, it does state that the association's board intends to take whatever actions are authorized by law and the association's governing documents to collect the assessments. At this point, there's not one account on that delinquency report that has not been liened, or a payment plan has been arranged, or a small claims action has been made. Every account on that list has had some sort of collection action. Did the board want to add any additional information?
It takes time to get through the process, as you can see, because every action that is taken has to be approved by us as a board. Anytime we have to approve the liens, we have to approve small claims, we have to approve if we go to Superior Court, which we have done. We have taken to the point of attaching bank accounts and collected in that means. I guess that there is some issue about, that the recommended rule change that we've got out there. That's an enforcement policy, and we're looking at another means of getting the attention of some of the residents. Right now, when they are in arrears, they lose their privileges to use the lodge or any of the facilities. They cannot come into the lodge until they become current with their assessments and become a member in good standing, really. As you become a member in good standing. With the transponders, that is just another way of getting people's attention that we really do need for you to pay what is owed to the community. And this is only done. These things are only done to the people that won't contact us and talk to us about it. They're the ones that go month after month after month not paying. And so this is a way of saying you lose your privilege to have easy access to the community. They still have access to the community. They can come in with their key code or have the gates open by the gate attendant. But in that time, as I think it was brought up, I think Ross was up here. In the meantime, you as a good member in good standing are supporting what they are not paying for. So that is why that particular rule has change has gone out, or actually it's an enforcement policy way that we can take another little action to say, hey, you need to support your life here in the community as the majority of the people do. And there was a question about the outstanding $13,000. Yes, we have some people that there is no way that we'll ever collect. They might have deceased and there is nothing left in their estate. They've moved out of the state and they are no longer obtainable for us to catch them. These people, these particular accounts get turned over to a collection agency, an outside collection agency. And then they can take, and then we get a certain percentage. They take a percentage if they get anything back, and then we take, I think they get 35% of whatever they are able to recoup from those outstanding accounts. But then also, I think Wayne was here, he would tell you that there is a reserve set aside to cover those particular outstanding balances, which for our community of our size is very, very, very low. Even during the worst times of the economic crash, we were under 2% of foreclosures, which was very, very low in the season that happened. But to let you know, we're just looking at other means to be able to get the attention of residents that are delinquent, that they really need to step up and pay. And so if you have any questions about the collection procedure, I know Jerry and staff would be glad to answer any of those questions. You have questions about how we as a board approach different kinds of ask any of us, we'd be glad to talk to you about how we attend the collection procedures. And this was just the way we wanted to get you to understand more, that in a sense, we are the bill collector. We're the ones that are having to actively go out there and recoup the money the best that we can with the tools that are available to us. Did anybody else want to say anything? No?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll continue with our agenda. Next item is old business, and we have no old new business. We'll go ahead and move into new business, and Eric will
try this mic.
Lead off.
Okay. So new business is started on page 167 to review a proposal from the Landscape Committee to put down some pea gravel under the tables and benches on the trail. They get a little soggy and can become a little dangerous with the rains that are predicted with El Nino this year. The cost will be $2,800.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the request from the Landscape Committee to install pea gravel, and this is not the tiny, this is the large size up, pea gravel into the tables and benches on the trail area to provide better footing during wet season for an amount of $2,800.
So moved.
Motion by Jean Sandoval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Next, on pages 169 through 170 is a proposal from the Safety and Facilities Committee. The lighting fixtures out at the Crooked Creek entrance are in disrepair. So the recommendation is to install some LED lights to bring those up to standards. There would be a total cost of $2,386.80, and this would be a reserve expense.
Do I have a motion to approve the request recommendation from the Safety and Facilities Committee for the replacement of broken lighting fixtures at Crooked Creek in the amount of $2,386, which is a reserve item?
So moved.
A motion by Jean Sandoval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion? I have a question. Are these new lights that are going in to be a little more, take a little more of use? Do we know if they're?
I believe that they will. They're new flood fixtures,
Okay.
so they should be, with the LED lights, they will take a little bit more
Good.
wear and tear.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
All right, next on pages 171 through 177 is a proposal from the Safety and Facilities Committee to replace the keypad up at the main gate entrance. The current keypad is a little bit difficult to use. You have to do the entering in a specific order, and if you don't do it quick enough or you do it too slowly, it won't work. This is a larger keypad, it's illuminated, it's a little bit nicer. Again, this would be a reserve expense. Total cost would be $6,779.84.
Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation from the Safety and Facilities Committee to replace the entry system at the Potrero Gate entrance in an amount of $6,779.84, which would be reserved by Automation Pride?
So moved.
Motion by Jean Sandoval, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Next, on pages 178 through 180 is a proposal from the Safety and Facilities Committee. Currently, we installed an ADA access door to the RCN building. However, there's not one in the adjacent exit from the lodge by the game room. So the committee is recommending putting in an ADA door there. The cost would be $3,313.50.
Do I have a motion?
Plus tax.
Plus tax, okay. Do you have a motion to approve the recommendation from Safety and Facilities to install an ADA door at the lodge hallway, at the end of the hallway going to the 1528 building in amount of $3,313.50 plus tax?
So moved.
Motion by Jean Sandoval, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf, discussion. This is something that was brought forward by residents wanting to have this particular
Yes.
door installed. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Next, on pages 181 through 182 is a proposal from the Safety and Facilities Committee to redo the heating and air conditioning thermostats throughout the facility. This new thermostat management system would be able to be accessed online through tablets or up at the computers. That way, when the lodge attendant needs to adjust a room, they don't have to actually leave the desk. They can do it from the computer. The total cost, or a one-time...
And we're able to control the rooms. When somebody's not using the room, we can turn, I thought I was talking really loud. Okay, sorry. Okay, in addition, this recommended system, while the room is not being used, you can adjust the room temperatures so we're not burning heat or using air conditioning. So therefore, it will be reducing our utility costs because we're not heating or cooling rooms that are not in use. In addition, you can program them to, if we're having an event, you can start up the air conditioner if it's in the summer about an hour before the event instead of cooling it off all day. So there are benefits to reducing the utility costs while providing ease of use through this system because it is wireless and it's remote. Sorry.
So the one-time cost for the installation is $13,695. Those costs will be recoverable within 3 to 5 years based on savings, as Jerry was saying. And there is also a yearly cost not to exceed $1,400 for the wireless access.
Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation from Safety and Facilities Committee to install a wireless thermostat management system in our facility buildings in an amount of one-time cost of $13,695 and a yearly cost not to exceed $1,400?
So moved.
A motion by Jean Sandoval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Next, on pages 183, is a proposal from the Safety and Facilities Committee. And this number shocked me that in the past 2 years, we've purchased over 40 of the tilt metal umbrellas, and they've all broke with the winds out here. So there's a class that we went to that had a great umbrella system that's a wooden umbrella with not a crank, which is part of the issues that these are breaking. So the committee is requesting to purchase 15 of these umbrellas at a cost of $197 each. So a total cost of $3,000, which would be a reserve expense, plus shipping and tax.
Do you have a motion to approve the recommendation from Safety Facilities to purchase new market umbrellas, 15 market umbrellas, in an amount of not to exceed $3,000 plus tax and shipping, which would be a reserve item?
So moved.
Motion by Jean Sandoval. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Next, on pages 184 through 188, is a request from the Ad Hoc Lodge and Spa Building Interior Renovation Committee. They are requesting to move on to Phase 2 with the architect. Per the contract, that Phase 2 design cost would be $4,400.
Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation from the Ad hoc Lodge Spa Buildings Interior Renovation Committee to contract for architectural services in the amount of $4,400 with Ryan Oldham?
So moved.
A motion by Jean Sandoval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Next, on pages 189 through 197 is a proposal from management to install Sirius XM radio in the spa building. The total cost for the first year would be $604.87, which includes $229 for materials, a one-time activation fee of $15, and the annual service cost of $359.88. The Finance Committee did not recommend this, but we wanted the board to have a...
Yes, we called it forward.
Yes.
So do I have a motion to approve the request to install the Sirius XM satellite radio in our spa building in an amount of $604.87 for the materials and one-time activation, and an annual service cost of approximately $359.88.
So moved.
A motion by Jean Sandoval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Metcalf. Discussion. I think at this point in time, the spa building is the only building that doesn't have the Sirius radio, and there have been a lot of comments from the users of the building that they wanted something more than the constant CD playing that's out there on a constant basis. So this would then make it equitable among all our buildings. So even as though the Finance Committee did not vote to move this forward to us, we thought it would be something that we really need to consider for the residents here in the community. So any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
And that's it for new business. The next open session board meeting will be held on Thursday, January 14th, 2016 at 1 p.m. here in the Lodge Ballroom.
Do I have nothing else?
No.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Jean Sandoval. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned.